Many thanks again for joining me on the program TMI Monday. Just to let you know that all our social media platforms are up and running. You can take advantage of them to be part of the discussion. Our guest in the studio, I'd like to thank very specially Professor Julius Yasser, is the ASU Chairman, University of Benin. Prof, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, viewers.
I have with me in the studio as well a social worker, public affairs commentator, and political analyst. I'd like to thank very especially Comrade Christian Usagal. Christian, many thanks for coming.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers.
Okay. Well, Saturday actually was a big day because the expectations were high that the 2019 presidential election would take place. Of course, it took place, but that wasn't the issue, really. That wasn't the issue. The presidential debate, I beg your pardon, took place on Saturday. But that wasn't the issue. What was the issue? The two main gladiators, so to speak, in the elections were nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be seen when the debate actually started. First, it was the incumbent president, PMB, President Muhammadu Buhari, who didn't show up. And then next was the PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, who came but eventually left. And then the stage was left for the trio of former Minister Obi Ezekwesili, and then of course public affairs commentator, motivational speaker, leadership coach, Fela Duro Toye. And then of course the economist himself, talking about Professor Kingsley Moghalu. Well, the stage was left for the three of them. And interestingly, for some analysts, the no-show from the APC and the PDP took shine off the debate. And then many people were really less interested in the debate at all. But again, those who came for the debate gave a good account of themselves. And some have said, if the debates were anything to go by, we should pick from these three to lead us in the next dispensation of our national development. And let me come to my panelists now. Do you subscribe to this school of reasoning that if the debates were anything to go by, if we were to make choices of the next president of Nigeria, who he should be or who she should be, the debates that we saw would have just been enough platform for us to make such a choice? Prof?
Yeah, that is the way it's supposed to be. But unfortunately, the APC and PDP have read this country through. And they have discovered that Nigerians can be taken for a ride. Of course, why won't it be? How many have they made literate? Because how many can listen to what was going on as debate? One is that many can't read and write. The second is that there are no lights anywhere. So, of course, they know that these are people that you can easily take for a ride. And, of course, it's been well described by those who took part. These are two sides of a coin that is already old, that must be thrown away. And then, of course, one is kettle, another is pot. Both are calling themselves black. Their thinking is that they are the only ones in the election. And, of course, I weep for the country, because if we are a people who understands clearly that action was enough to throw away those two presidential candidates. They have no part in this election, because these are people who have, with disdain, treated the entire citizenry of this country. And so that is the way we're supposed to handle them. But unfortunately, Nigerians, minds are already fixated. That is the basic truth.
Okay.
People have, yeah.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Give me a summary of your perspectives on the debate, Kristen.
Well, for me, I see the debate as an opportunity for the new entrants into the race to, kind of publicize themselves. Because if you look at the trail of campaign since the campaign actually took off, you have never really seen any of them maybe appear in any state and pull such a crowd and introduce themselves to the public. So it was an opportunity that the debate provided for the new entrants to tell people who they are.
Okay.
And for me, Nigeria is not short of hearing BB grammar. And I think we are past that stage. And if you look the way, all of the three of them, they were wonderful, I must confess. They were wonderful. At least they are still very young. There is a need for them to continue to try their luck.
Okay.
Maybe one of the day they will scale through. But the era we are now does not metamorphosize into electoral gain with the debate. Because I'm aware that close to 80% of Nigerians don't have access to light. Even though they don't have televisions at home. And the strategy of the whole issue is, even the debate, the way it's run, is only, I think, I'm not aware that even it's aired on radio, is on television. And when you go to the jungles, the interiors, television are not there. The only thing some of them manage to hold in their hand is this transistor radio where they can get the information. And the grammar they were breaking there, most of our people don't understand those grammar. So, like I said, I appreciate them for coming. And equally appreciate those that didn't come for not coming. They have their reason. Like one said, he was busy campaigning. The other one said, I refused to enter because who I wanted to debate with was not there. They are entitled to their personal opinions. And the truth is that Nigeria, we are growing gradually.
Okay.
When the debate started, people were not showing much interest. But now the momentum is...
The interest is growing, is increasing.
And with time, when everybody begin to have access to light, television, and all these things, where you don't even need to go to stadium to receive your candidates. Just sit down at home and they begin to talk to you. Then we cannot begin to talk the impact of such debates.
Okay, we'll come back to the specifics, which has to do with the reasons advanced by the two major candidates who were not at the debate. But let me come to Prof. Let's look at those who were at the debate. He said the debate organized by the Nigerian Election Debate Group in partnership with the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON, provided an opportunity for these candidates to showcase themselves. In fairness to them, I'm not sure we've seen them in any major campaign rally in any state. I stand to be corrected. I haven't seen any. But look at the performances. Let's look at their performances. I mean, individually and collectively. What's your assessment?
Oh, fantastic. Did you listen to Morgan? Or is it Duro Toye or our Bring Back the Girls, keyboard girls? In fact, they were wonderful. These are people with idea. In fact, one posited something that will suit my nerves. Talked about the percentage that he was going to give to us. You know, about over 20% in the national budget. Of course, you know that for the president of this country presented a 2019 budget and never mentioned that, you know, the eggheads in this country are on strike and what he was going to do concerning that. But why will he do that when he has earlier said that what is education contributing to Nigerian GDP? Can you just imagine the level of illiteracy and all that of somebody who is leading us? But the problem is that many of our boys, many of our sisters and girls and whatever, minds are fixated. People are not looking through thin lines to understand about that we owe this country. Posterity will not forgive us if we don't do what is right now. Of course, if you have listened to Omoga, he has details of how he wants to marshal out plans in this country. These are people with energy. Those who ruled us in the past and led us in the past and provided some results, let me put it that way, and pushed this country to the extent to which it has now. We are in the 20s and 30s in their age, with respect to their age and all that. But then now we are talking about some people above 70s and all of that. People who already shows that their motor neurons have have developed problems. People whom we already see that their short-term memory are already having problems and all that. And so, what can you make of a presidential candidate handing over a flag to another presidential candidate on such a podium, on a platform like that? That shows that man's short-term memory has problem, and then the motor neurons are not processing well anymore. It's very clear. These are senile features. There's nothing you can do about them. It has to do with age and all that. And then already at that point, the person already sickly. So what are we doing in this country? The problem is that our Nigerians, like even my co-discussant here, had given up because he has said that they need to try again. Why can't we now say no with this, what the performance we have seen? People should even rise up, go to the street and even campaign for them now. Because what we know is that they don't have enough money to be able to put through the 36 states of the Federation. And they said over 700 and something local governments in this country. But that Nigerians who are there, if you mean well for this country, should go to the street, go and campaign for these people to rescue this country from the jugular. You know, from those who are holding it by the jugular. That is the basic truth. Yes, we know. In our neighboring countries where people are going to come to vote, didn't have radio, didn't have TV. Of course, what are we? And then, those going to have radio and have TV if we don't have a way of preventing these persons from coming to skew the decision of reasonable Nigerians? So it's a very, very big question. Those who debated, we have seen, are those who had ideas. That is why they came. They had done something to tell Nigerians of what they want to do. Those who didn't come didn't have anything to give. And that is the basic truth. These are persons who have been in offices before, and things didn't change. So why do we not need to allow these persons to return back? I, for one, will not allow. Okay. If I'm given the opportunity.
If you just join us, you're watching This Morning on ITV. We call it TMI Monday with yours sincerely. And we're reviewing the 2019 presidential election debate in which 3 candidates participated, and the 2 major candidates from the 2 major political parties did not show up. Well, let's begin now by looking at reasons advanced by the 2 major political parties why their candidates did not participate in the presidential debates. Let's start with the ruling party, the APC. In your earlier presentation, you said the reason advanced was that the president was busy with his campaigns. Let's take it off from there. Yes, is that enough justification not to honor such an invitation, considering its integral part of the democratic process globally?
For me, before I will answer that, the issue of this debate, those 3 fellows that came,
3 candidates,
those candidates that came, like I said, they have time ahead of them. But I must be very honest with you. Nigerian, in fact, their position were kind of elitist. And if you look at the way Parato presented the theory of elites, you discover that it's neither here nor there. So, for me, they have started. We have never, it's not just to speak English. We need to try them maybe in governor, as even the one that was minister before. What were the legacy? He's from the education sector. That same person was a minister of education. If those legacy were there, ASU will not continue to go on strike over time. And this thing has always been a problem. So they can, it's not how long or you can speak the English, how you can theorize policies. It's how Nigeria, we have been told over time, it's not short of policies, it's not short of ideas, it's not short of brain. You understand? So this big political party that did not come. Well, for me, I think that same day, the APC candidate was in Plateau State. And seeing the crowd that received him, and I'm very sure the number of persons that received him in Plateau State, you cannot guess half of that number that listened to that debate. I don't know where my friend, my brother here talked about foreign neighboring nation that will come and vote here. I'm not aware of that. Maybe it's closer to INEC than myself. But I know that even in Edo State here, even in where I reside in Edo, there was no light. Not even when you put battery on your radio, nothing was heard. So it is those of us that could borrow money to buy fuel and allow others to listen that have privilege
Are
of listening.
you saying the essence of the debate is defeated?
For now, I say we are growing.
Yes.
We will get there where the debate will be relevant. For now, it's an elitist platform, and the people, the Talakawas are much in numbers. They don't have access to all these things. So let the candidates take their campaign to their doors, to their domain, so that they begin to interact. I'm aware that some are going to doing town hall meetings. Yeah. So those are some of the things that are germane for now. Then when Nigeria now have its priority right, we begin to talk of social media and all those things. Then those two, like your question, those two big political parties that didn't come. The APC,
no, we started with the APC. So
yes.
I'm asking the question that I asked, the excuse of being busy, and then that a similar activity or platform has been provided. I mean, we saw earlier in the week the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA sister station, and the private media organized a town hall where the president and the vice president were participated in that one.
Yes.
That has also afforded them the opportunity to present themselves, what they have done and where they are going. But
missing this one.
Yes, is it enough justification missing this one?
It's not enough justification. Even that same day that they appear on that NTA one,
yes,
there was a campaign they carried out in Kogi State.
Okay.
It was after that campaign that he went back.
So which means it was possible that after the Plateau State campaign, gone back to Abuja.
He now said the crowd and the onslaught of the people and the time that he could even live, like they said, where the people in the stadium that they received him, where he took off to go there, because of the crowd, where it was supposed to take by 5 or 10 minutes, he spent over 1 hour to get to the stage. Okay. So I think I'm not holding brief for him. Yeah. I think his reason is genuine. Okay. But for me, I will encourage more of them to go to the people one-on-one.
And not debate.
Not debate.
Okay.
Not debate. We are tired of English. Okay. Then the PDP candidates.
No, I'll come back to the PDP candidates.
The two major.
No, we'll come back to the PDP candidate. We'll take it one after the other. Prof, you'll be itching to say something yes, on the reasons advanced by the ruling party.
Just to say that in Plateau State, it was even reported that Buhari couldn't address those who gathered because the podium, I think, collapsed. There were problems before they even arrived there, and that he was spirited out of that venue. And so he left there earlier than enough. So if he wanted to appear at that platform, the debate, he would have. He had opportunity and all that. But for me, your guess is as good as mine. He was in Kogi, he collapsed. He was in Kaduna, he collapsed into the chair.
Prof, we don't have evidence to back this up.
I thought it's written about. It's not my statement.
I know. We don't have evidence to, because the party has come out to deny all of this. Yes, the party came out to deny all of this. So we cannot hold on strong to that point.
What would the party say? Yes. What else do you expect Nigerian parties to say? I've said before that Nigerians are fixated. That is why I'm crying for the country. But we are finding it very difficult to move away from bad to good, because we are more party people than allowing cognitive reasoning to judge our move and whatever we decide. It is very, very clear there now. And so you are aware that this man, he doesn't have the strength. Of course, somebody is our president not is it very well and all that. Even some persons even reported that the doctors are already warning that he should return back to the UK, and that it's being managed to finish this process of campaign before returning back there. We read that too somewhere. And so in fact, some have written that if this man were their uncle, parents, or whatever, father, what they would have said, would have advised him, to return back to Daura and all that. But my only is, that is not the genuine reason. We saw him before Kadaria. in one of the interactive sessions with the vice president. How many of the questions that were put across to him did he answer himself? To the extent out of frustration that the young woman that was interviewing had to say, allow him to answer for himself. For talking to Oshibajo, allow the president to answer for himself. The question is directed at the president because most times he parried the question, and then Oshibajo was there to go keep the questions. That is what we observe most of the time. And so, what were you going to expect from such an open this thing where he is going to be alone? That is number one. Number two, I didn't know whether you observed that it was difficult, really difficult for him to hear what the young lady was saying. Each time, he must always ask, you said, and all that. And so, very clear that our president very likely to be having hearing
challenges,
and all of that. Okay. And so, now, globally, before world leaders, in discussions and all that, what plays out for us as a country? Why is it that we're in a country where people like us are, you know, where you are, where seasoned human beings are, where Mogalu is, and all that, then this is the man we are presenting as our best, or we are choosing as our best.
But let's not make it sound like we're deriding him, Prof, because he has a right to seek for re-election, just like you have right. You can't deny him that, Prof.
Yes, now.
Yes, you can't deny him that.
Yes,
but when you say, is this the man we are presenting? I mean, yes, he has a right.
Yes, but he has right. Why won't he have the right? Do I have the equal right?
You do.
No, I won't. Because you have seen that everywhere. I use the word fixated. That word is, in fact, both in inverted commas and otherwise. That is what I mean, though. Because we know the summation of factors leading to this election, what they are. First of all, now, they brought bills before you to make this election credible. You refuse to sign them. We have seen recently what is happening to the Chief Justice of the Federation. Of course, anything about election has to do with laws. And then you want to cripple that arm. Because the second arm of governance, which is the legislature, has also been crippled. You now also want to cripple this. And then people complain. This woman you are appointing to collate our election results is related to you. Remove her. Any man with goodwill will immediately act. If you are going to face people on an equal platform, you will remove just to listen to the people and all that. And then people have also been complaining. Why must it be that appointments must also come from around you and all that? And so, when people are not talking, and to the extent of a former president of this country, already casting aspersions and then already suspecting that our elections were not going to be free, then you should give it to him.
Okay, we'll come
that
to
is
that.
What we're saying.
We'll come to that point, Prof. Let's look at the other side. I mean, the PDP candidate also did not participate, but we saw from reports online, offline, that he was actually at the venue, but eventually left when he didn't see the candidate of the APC, and his excuse was that if the candidate of the APC, that is, the president is not there, he doesn't have any reason to be there. Was that a good enough reason, Kristen?
Well, it's not. For me, that is a very bad reason. Maybe it was, that's, for him, summoning the courage to even be there, he would have just concluded the courage by presenting himself. That would have left the APC to be alone. And probably, I think, why he left, he was intimidated by those young candidates. Maybe he saw the tension in them, they will massacre him. Maybe that was why he decided to chicken out. It's unfortunate. I cannot explain or understand why he came and left.
But he gave a reason.
That's what I'm
the
saying.
party also
According
gave
to
a reason.
him,
Yes.
he came to debate with Buhari. Now Buhari was not there, he has to go. But the letter given to him didn't tell him that it was between him and Buhari. The letter given to him was that 5 candidates have been chosen by Bond to participate in this year debate, and he accepted the letter. Now that he came and he checking out, I just conclude that he was intimidated by these candidates who were really ready to slaughter those two big political party candidates.
To debate, not slaughter. I mean, there wasn't anything like slaughter.
When the moderator asked them to talk about, to make their comment on the absence of those two big, you hear their comment. It was, so that is why I use that language.
Okay.
And I want to appeal to my brother here. He's a professor, he's a leader of ASU. You know, when we are electing people, we must be direct and sure of what we are talking about.
No. I mean, he has the right to express himself.
Yes.
The way he wants to express himself.
No.
The same way you have the right to express yourself. Yes. That's the point. Prof. Let me take charge here. That's what I'm saying. He knows the rules. Yeah, he knows the rules.
Yes.
So let's stick with those rules.
Because when I think the rally in Lokoja was shown live, and I watch it, for the social media and some lenient and educated Nigerians to say the man fell or collapsed, I feel sorry, like he said, for Nigerians. But I am the kind of person that has always been hopeful of this great country, that we find ourselves where we are today. If you observe over time, I try as much as possible not to talk about the issue of ASU challenge, because I have do a study. There is no government, there is no administration that ASU have not embarked on strike. So it's difficult for me to juxtapose this administration, why they did not strike under this administration, why they strike under this administration.
Okay, but now, let's not derail on the focus of our discussion.
You know, I was happy when he said one of the candidates talk what he's going to do for us.
For education.
You are coming to my point.
That is,
for
how
education.
many of them, the UNESCO standard for budget allocation is 26%.
Sir,
and then the country has remained between 4 to 7. And you say that we should not.
I am in the same page with you, because to some extent I'm a de facto benefactor of the educational sector. I would have been more happy than him if one of the candidates said he's going to take social work to the next level.
Okay.
You know, everybody must be proud of his
constituency. You need to be educated before you can do social work.
It's your constituency.
My friend, you need to be educated.
No, I understand.
All right, gentlemen, let's not go off track.
The issue is this.
Yeah.
In politics.
Let's not go off track.
In politics.
Yes.
It is give and take. Give what you have to get what
now,
you
back
want.
to where we started from. The PDP presidential candidate, the reasons advanced for not being at the debate, are they justifiable in your opinion?
That's why I said it's not justifiable at all.
Okay,
the reason I have said is that, for me, if he has not appeared there,
at all,
no big deal.
All right,
that Prof, he went there, he should have just
let me get your thoughts
on stage.
on the reasons canvassed or advanced for not being.
My students will describe the action of the PDP presidential candidate Atiku as a fuck up. That's the way the
we don't allow such a language on air.
No, what I'm saying, I said that's the way.
Withdraw that.
I withdraw it.
Yeah, withdraw it. Yeah,
but that is the word. If you ask students, that's what they would have used. The issue is that for something that made you to rush out of America, to come to Nigeria, and even come to the venue, you say because an opponent was not at the venue, is the war now between you and Buhari alone. I thought that it would have been an opportunity for you now to espouse what you want to do to Nigerians. You are talking to Nigerians and not Buhari. You are not anyway, although the contest is between those presidential candidates. But of course you want to win the hearts of Nigeria. It is an enough opportunity for you to have come on air to even have, say what you have said. That I wouldn't have been here, but for the love of this country, the citizenry of this country. Because I expected our XYZ to be here. You understand?
Yeah.
So the reason he had given is not matured enough of a presidential candidate. I'm not pleased at all with him. It is not Buhari. The issue is not Buhari. The issue about the leadership of this country. And then you would have come to tell us how exactly. But the problem actually is that APC, PDP have made this country, now they've bought this country. That is what we have seen here. The two political parties think that this country belongs to them. And that is why I would have wished that Nigerians will rise up this time and say, no, we have a different idea. We need different persons to lead us or rule over us. That is what I have seen here. It was a very big mistake on his part. And I don't know whether he has advisors. If advisors would have, okay, please, Oga, what you need to do, go on air and, showcase what you have. Tell Nigerians this is what you want to do and all that. You see, those people even had the opportunity, because I don't think those who debated wanted to scare them or tear them apart, because they gave them an opportunity to even talk about the parties that were absent. That would have elicited anger. And it did, from the description about two of them gave to those the two presidential candidates. Okay. That is just it.
Okay. If you just join us, it's still TMI Monday. Now, we'll go to the MCR now and give you a full insight into some of the comments, some of the promises, some of the pledges made by the candidates who were there at the presidential debates. And then we'll be back to conclude this discussion on the 2019 presidential election debate in retrospect. Join us again.
At the debate, Kingsley Moghalu of the Young People's Party YPP, Fela Durotoye of the Alliance of New Nigeria ANN, and Obi Ezekwesili of the Allied Congress Party of Nigeria ACPN expressed worry at the rate of unemployment in the country, which has brought the Nigerian economy to its knees. Kingsley Moghalu, Fela Durotoye, and Obi Ezekwesili were unanimous that the Nigerian economy needs redirection, as some of the present-day policies are either not feasible or are not implemented, thereby further impoverishing the people, while some elected public office holders enrich themselves with the common patrimony of the people.
The problem that we need to solve is that we don't have an economic philosophy. We will have to decide whether we're a capitalist country or a socialist country, and if we are, what type of capitalism we are practicing. So, my approach to the Nigerian economy is, first of all, to focus on reforming the educational system, ensure that our young people have the skills that can make them competitive in the 21st century, and the skills that can give them jobs or help them to set up their own jobs.
The three most important sectors that we need to focus on will be the sectors that help us not only to grow jobs, but to have great social impact in terms of growing our nation. So the three most important sectors are agriculture, housing construction, and road construction. If we fix agriculture, which currently, as we know today, 60% of Nigeria's labor force is currently employed in the agricultural sector. And yet, only 35% of our arable land is being used. We will drive aggressively land use for agriculture to 50%. And that will create for us an opportunity to be able to get under 30 million people altogether into the labor force.
When you look at the Nigerians who are poor, it is very clear that they are poor because they earn below 700 naira a day and live on it. What therefore needs to happen is that this majority of Nigerians, over 50% of them, would need to improve their productivity. When people have higher productivity, they earn more. When they earn more, they lift themselves out of poverty.
Other issues discussed by the participants include education, insecurity, health, and the absence of President Muhammadu Buhari of the APC and Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, at the debate.
First thing we're going to do is that we will bring to the problem the political will to address it once and for all. The second thing we're going to do is to tackle corruption in the military. The recent report of the International Security Studies Association has told us very clearly that one of the reasons and one of the factors that is driving the insurgency is corruption in the Nigerian military. And this has led to Boko Haram technically degrading our military instead of the other way around. We will bring to the problem intelligence, intelligent intelligence. How do we do that? We will go to the people and try to win their hearts and minds and ask them to collaborate with the government, the military, the security agencies. Give us intelligence. We will work with neighboring countries to improve the cross-border intelligence sharing because it is the failure of that that is driving Boko Haram.
First and foremost, we must ensure that the institutions, the security agencies, are strengthened. And to strengthen those institutions, they must be properly led. Which means that you have to make sure, and we will ensure, that the leadership of the police and the civil defense corps, the leadership of the army, the navy, and all of the armed forces are based not on nepotism, not on friend or man no man, as we say sometimes in Nigeria. It will be based on performance, and the brightest and the best will be selected amongst the people and promoted to lead the rest so that they can provide for them role model leadership.
We would set up instantly a SWAT team made up of the best quality brains that we can find, because we must rapidly respond to what currently exists. We want that SWAT team to make it clear that our territory will not be a conducive environment to live in and attack our country and people.
Questions by viewers from across the country were attended to by the presidential candidates. The presidential debate, which featured the vice presidential candidates of selected political parties, earlier held over 2 weeks ago. Thomas Sado reporting.
Personally, I was just enamored by the sheer brilliance, intelligence, and the depth of knowledge, and of course the deliveries, the presentations by those three presidential candidates. Fortunately and unfortunately, there is no way we could benchmark these presentations with those that were supposed to have come from the ruling party and of course the major opposition party, the PDP presidential candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Gentlemen, is back to you. Yeah, I'm sure, even though you had some perceptions about the performances of those three candidates, just listening to them speak, what can you draw from their inspiration? Let me start with you, Christian.
Yes, it gave me hope that Nigeria will be great. You know, their time will come. Certainly their time will come.
Certainly not now.
Not now.
This is not their time.
No, this is not their time. They should continue to propound the theory, and probably they will have opportunity to put the theory into use.
Okay.
But I was not comfortable with the professor there who said Boko Haram degraded the Nigerian military.
No, that's not what he said. He said,
yes. I listened to him. Yes. He said that the Boko Haram had degraded the Nigerian military instead of the other way around, instead of the military degrading Boko Haram. And that was not Nigerian. Because if you are not proud of what you have, everybody will.
But did you listen to the rider?
Right? Is it
did you
right?
listen to the rider to that statement?
I'm
not holding forth for him,
yes,
but did you
I
listen
said,
to the rider?
I must be honest.
Yeah.
Is it
I
truth
said
now?
it's not the truth, because let me tell you, most times, personally, I have visited part of the, even in I've been in Adamawa not too long ago, and you don't even need to go to where those Boko Haram heads were before. What you do, just visit Edo State Market today. You see those food stuff. You remember there was a time you buy just 2 seeds of tomatoes, 500 naira, 1,000 naira. But today you go to the market. That means people have go back to farming in that part of the country. And when you go there, people that have run away from the farmland are going back. So that is to tell you that it is not as it used to be.
Okay.
You understand? And we should give it, no matter how we hate this country, we should give it to the Nigeria military. That is why I said I was not comfortable with that postulation.
Okay.
And like I said,
yeah,
they are bright, they are intelligent.
They should wait for their time.
They should wait for their time.
All right, Prof, let me get your thoughts. New thoughts, I believe, came to you listening to those guys.
First of all, is that your ability to reason is timed. The human body, the physiological makeup of a man, it peaks and also begins to come down. It's like a kind of parabola. You grow up as a child, you get to a point when your deliveries are at peak. Those who knows, those who have studied, those who are educated, use all of these during interviews and when they engage people. And that is why you will find that a man that is about 60 in France, when you're about 60, 62, you are retired from work. Even in our environment here, it's the same thing. What they are simply saying is that when you cross that age, you are no more at your optimum. So why do we now wait to wait till our people have gone senile before now allowing them to come to governance? At that point, you now begin to find that you not talk about cabal. It's those who are around him, actually, that are doing the deliveries, not even himself. You are looking at the man, but there's a man behind the mask. That is what we see here. So, Gowon ruled this country at what age? I listened to, when did Buhari come, first of all, to this country, and people hate his government? When was he here first? Remember the age? And of course now, we are saying that the man is simply, is going down. That is what it is. It's dust to dust. And so, that is what we are saying here. We must, as a country, even put regulations. Me, the decisions I take in the past is not, I'm not as daring as I used to be at a particular age when I was growing up. Because now, so many factors are now weighing me down. In this country, you need to be daring. You need to take decisions. You need to be energetic. To be able to follow up with the responsibilities. If me, at my own young office, for instance, I find it difficult to carry on with all that are before me, then you can imagine the president of a country. Is that what a grandfather can carry? No. So we should, sue for younger persons to rule over this country. That is the basic truth. That we know experience. Experience is not. There's no direct relationship between age and experience. That is the honest truth. So when people in other countries are training, how many years was Obama when he ruled over this thing? How many years was Clinton? And so when people now complain about Trump, how many years is he? We have all these facts before us. You see Morali there, you see him. You monitor him. In the next 10 years, he might not be as energetic as he is now. This is supposed to be the time. The same thing for Fela Durotoye. Our madam is about this. Just to say, when she came as the minister of education, he was being superintended over by somebody else. You must do the policies, go according to the government of the day. That is one major fact. I can remember, for instance, that our buildings that were brought down in GRA was earlier mentioned to her, and she refused. So, what are we talking about? So these are the basic facts. You need energy. Okay. You need age. You need education. Because when we talk about grammar also, I disagree. Wars are won on the table. What we are seeing here, the problem in Nigeria is the implementation. You need to plan. You heard Mogalu talking about ideology. That is what it is. Nigeria does not know the kind of ideological stance that we have. We are basically more neoliberal now. What we are saying is, in a country, are you purely capitalist If you are purely capitalist, apply the principles of capitalism. Or if you are to the left, then apply the principles of those to the left, socialists. When, if you are the center, you are welfarist, know what things to do. That is what we are talking about. Currently, Nigeria is a mixed meal. We don't even know which one we are doing.
All right, thank you. It's the TMI. Just before we call it a wrap on our discussion segment, former President Olusegun Obasanjo obviously will continually be in the news in the build-up to the 2019 election, maybe after the 2019 elections as well, particularly against the background of the stand that he has taken. Recently, some new issues have emerged on his plank and criticizing the government of the day, particularly alleging plans or plots to undermine, circumvent the 2019 elections. Now, President Olusegun Obasanjo, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, is at it again. Is it to be taken seriously?
Before then, sir, I want to say that my brother said, these people are young. This is now. Those people.
Christian, just try and stay on course. Christian, no, just.
I want a comment to make on that.
If we're going to be having, he said this. If it's not even a debate. If you're going to have, no, that is what he said. No, it's not a debate. It's not a debate. It's a discussion.
Yes, this discussion.
Stay on course. Stay on course.
I have an issue there.
Stay on course. Stay on course. If you want to go on that, we'll leave that. Just a few minutes to round up. Just go ahead. Okay. Stay on course. Stay on course.
Okay, no problem about that. The issue is this. Like OBJ, I cannot remember the civilian president he has not written letter to. So I agree with the school of thought that said it's bad belly letter, because he was the first that wrote a letter to Shagari, and after the letter, a few months later, the Shagari was overthrown. He brought Yaradua, and he wrote letter. He brought Jonathan, and he wrote letter. Even in fact, in one of the letters, letter he wrote to Jonathan. Second, there was another one he talked about how Jonathan was training snipers. You see, when you now, at the end of the day, if Jonathan really has snipers, some people believed him, but some of us never believe anything he says right from inception. So I guess I will start taking him seriously now, because somebody that does not see beyond his nose and say, yes, he's the only one. I don't have any respect for such people. For him, look at all the letters he has written. And when you remove person, his person from those letters, they are worthless. So he talk about plan to ring election. If he presided over this nation second time for 8 years, and immediately handed over, so the person he brought and campaigned for her, and he won election, Yaradua. When Yaradua was sworn, his first statement was that the election that brought me on board was fraud. So that means the man that presided over those elections himself is fraud. So he will come to equity, come with clean hands. He has no moral justification to begin to talk about ringing in an election, because those of us that have been following the trend of Nigeria politics know that remove ringing of election from Nigeria, Obasanjo's name will be deleted. So he is the godfather.
Okay, now let's not.
So he should not begin to mention
let's not make it personal. I just wanted us to focus on the issues and not the personality. I mean, we should try as much as possible to do that. So, Prof, you want to share in the sentiments canvassed by Christian Osenale?
To some extent, but let me say you can't throw the baby and the bathwater away. That what Obasanjo has said, even if Obasanjo is a demon, but that what he has said is not correct, may not go too well or go down well at so many other quarters. Because I said earlier that the summation of factors or decisions made towards the 2019 election might be having some problems. Of course, you allow tongues to wag when you give an opportunity, because if we look at what is going on, they brought out factors that are going to control and make this election credible. and asked that you should sign. You refused to sign. You did everything you could, you know, to circumvent that. And then somebody complained about Zakari at the college to be at the collation center, and said that that Zakari amend will remain there means that you now become an umpire in your own case, and you didn't do anything about it. Let me accuse one of the national media here that it appears that on that media is only one party that is contesting election in this country. And then we say we have, is it, what do people call it, BNC or what?
NBC.
NBC. What are they doing now? They're not sleeping. That is what we're saying. That when a party that is in government, everybody will follow. Nigerians don't have that courage to protest, to go against. Everybody is open to that national media and watch in the evenings. This is the time now they are advertising all the roads, all the rail line, all the that and that and that and that. Is it fair? You simply have you skewed the election. And then with all that is also going on, it clearly defeats the entire system.
Okay.
And so everybody will not suspect at least that this election, we cannot go without fraud. How many persons are coming? How many of the presidential candidates are coming? I came back from Kano last week. How many? Where are the posters? Is this the way it used to be? How come that the number 2 citizen of this country is now, you are entering into the market to give 10,000 and 5,000, and you are talking about vote buying? What is the meaning of that? What does that mean? Hey, number 2, Sam, you're going to the market without money, going through legislation and all that.
They need it.
You are not going. Yes, they need it. That's what I'm saying. Very correct.
Let's encourage more.
Is it time? Is it time?
There is no time that is always good.
Correct.
For
we know where you are.
No,
so the issue is
you must know where I am.
Please,
where I am on the side of those that need this.
Okay, I won't talk again.
Mr. Allow him to Prof, land. Just land. Anchor the point.
So what I'm saying is, I've talked, I'm mentioning points. I mentioned now the number 2 citizen of this country now going to the market to now go and be distributing money. That it is not too different from vote buying. That is the honest truth.
But there's no election now.
Yes. Election is a few days away from now. And now it is now you are. An owl cried yesterday, a child died this morning. And you are still looking for who killed the child. So let me tell you, the issue are, the things that these people, I said, the summation of factors or things that have been done towards this election is not too well.
Okay. Our time is up, gentlemen. If we have more time, probably would love to talk more. I want to say big thanks to Professor Julius Iyasere, the ASU Chairman, University of Benin. Many thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Comrade Christian Oserali is a social worker. Many thanks again for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much.
Well, the choice is yours, really, on which side of the divide to go in voting. But you must have your PVC. That's the card that you have to make a decision as far as the 2019 election is concerned.